The National Student Financial Aid Scheme says it's identified several unethical behaviours, from the swapping of booked vouchers to allowances. NSFAS Administrator Dr. Randall Carolissen talks to us about measures that have been implemented to curb the problems. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Tell us about the problems first.
So things are going a lot better, but of course, as you start to fix a system as bad as it was, you will of course encounter problems. We have mitigated, as you rightly pointed out, a lot of the ills of the past. So we don't issue book vouchers anymore. We don't issue vouchers at all, because some of that resulted in third-party involvement in our disbursement chain. And once you have third-party involvement in your business chain, disbursement chain, you have to open up yourself for fraud. So what we've done is we have shifted about 30 of the 50 TVET colleges to direct payments. And so what we do is we check all changes that our students effect to make sure that it is indeed the students that are effecting those changes and not somebody else on the disbursement chain. So far we've been relatively successful in doing that, and we have managed to keep our students making sure they get their money.
Some of the concerns about them getting money was that much of that money wasn't being put into books. How do you track what gets done with that? Our
shift from books to cash was deliberate, and it's after widespread consultation. Vouchers are designed for people that can't control their money, and it keeps people disempowered for a long time. Certainly when I got my allowance, I got it in cash, and I had to learn to spend it properly. So creating an allowance system, you create first of all monopolies and all the bad things that go together with monopolies, escalating prices, going through the roof. People can only buy one book. It keeps South Africa back as a technology-enhancing country that use technology in classrooms. And also it suppresses the second-hand book market. All over the world, the education authorities are moving to Fourth Industrial Revolution solutions to teaching these days. We still had books. I mean, that's like taking us back. But having said that, I'm not dismissing the books. But we certainly don't intend to track 750,000 spending patterns of students. They are adults, and we think they should behave like adults. And I think the ultimate test is the end result, whether they are successful. And we have research that shows that NSFAS students are 10% more successful than the national cohort, and their dropout rate is 10% less. And that's what happened when you have security of food and tenure and tuition. So I don't want
to... When the students are bringing up NSFAS as saying that they're still not getting what they want from it, I mean, where does that come from, and what is it that they feel that's missing?
Well, look, first of all, we raised the bar considerably for ourselves. So the first time ever that we've declared NSFAS students eligible well before registration. In the past, it used to happen well after the registration. And we accept when we raised the bar, the expectations were raised as well. But we have disbursed 5.2 billion rand to institutions as upfront payments, because NSFAS students only become fully funded once we receive the registration data from universities. And as we receive the registration data, we regularize their payments to themselves. So we can't fund a student that's not registered, but we have made provision for upfront payments.
And to get that money, they have to behave. They have to be doing what is required of them, otherwise they lose it.
Yes, of course. If they're not successful, they drop out of the system. But as I said, we find that students, once they have the security, they do a lot better. So we have paid up this upfront payments. I think the shift, honestly, has shifted not from the NSFAS students, because they are catered for. And I mean, we have catered for 750,000 students last year. I think the shift and the emphasis now is in the missing middle. Those students are genuinely, the parents can't afford to pay for them, but they are over the NSFAS cut-off limit. And that debt, that historic debt, is 9 billion rand, and that is very prohibitive.
Mm. And you wonder what's you wonder what's going to be done to tackle that, because this is a conversation we've been having for quite a while.
It's a national conversation, and those students cannot be afforded not to also enjoy the same opportunities that the very poor and the very rich enjoy. We run the risk of running a bipolar education system. Only the rich and the very poor can go to universities. But certainly that's a reality that government has woken up to. The other issue is the adequacy and quality of accommodation. And those issues are starting to come out to the front more. But this year we have a number of innovations that will build on a success that we've had in 2019. In 2019, we have arrested the free fall that happened in NSFAS in 2018. We've arrested the irregular expenditure of 7.5 billion rand. And so this year we've got a lot more plans to be much more efficient, and as I said, we raise the bar continuously for ourselves, and we should.
And this sort of corruption that was taking place, I mean, have those people been identified and dealt with?
Well, a large amount, the entire executive is gone, and a large amount of people are currently on suspension, and we have reported cases to the Special Investigating Unit, and we need to lock these people up because they're stealing from the poor. And I think, unfortunately, as we clean up the fake news and fake information, just is stepping up in escalation, but that's something that you have to deal with. You can't open the windows and not expect flies.
No. Good to talk to you. Thank you.